It's hard to believe, but Genshin Impact is now 5 years old. That's right, 5 years since we first stepped into the world of Teyvat, glided through Mondstadt's skies, and pulled for our very first 5-star. What started out as the Breath of the Wild clone quickly became one of the most successful and talked about games of the decade. So today, we're taking a deep dive into Genshin Impact's 5-year journey, how it rose to global dominance, how it changed free-to-play gaming, and what the future might hold for miHoYo's ever-expanding universe. Whether you're a day-one traveler or just curious about the hype, this is the Genshin Impact 5th Anniversary Retrospective. Let's go back to September 28, 2020. At launch, Genshin Impact shocked a lot of people. It was free-to-play, cross-platform, and visually stunning, and it was coming from a Chinese developer not widely known in the West. Initial comparisons to Breath of the Wild were everywhere: open world, gliders, stamina-based climbing. But as players dug deeper, they discovered a game that stood on its own. You had a fully voiced cast, real-time action combat, elemental combos, and a rich world begging to be explored. And the best part? It was all free. Aside from the gacha system, of course. Despite skepticism, Genshin Impact exploded in popularity. It made over $100 million in its first 2 weeks and hit every major platform except Xbox. Mobile, PC, PS4, and eventually PS5 all supported cross-save and cross-play. That was huge. In a year dominated by the pandemic, Genshin became a digital escape for millions of gamers. One of the biggest reasons players stuck around was the world building. Teyvat wasn't just a big open world, it was 7 nations, each based on a real-world culture and element. And miHoYo didn't just throw in different biomes, they built entire nations with unique architecture, lore, music, and political structures. First, there was Mondstadt, Europe-inspired, carefree, windswept. Then came Liyue, drawing from Chinese mythology and showcasing some of the most jaw-dropping architecture and cutscenes in early Genshin. After that, Inazuma, with its Japanese aesthetic, isolationist politics, and electro-based progression. Then Sumeru, blending Middle Eastern and South Asian influences, split between lush rainforests and arid deserts, and offering some of the most ambitious quests in the game. Finally, Fontaine, the Hydro Nation, introduced underwater traversal and courtroom drama mechanics. Yes, courtroom drama. Only in Genshin. Each new region wasn't just more land, it was deeper storytelling, new characters, combat mechanics, and complex world events. At its core, Genshin Impact revolves around a deceptively simple loop: explore, fight, collect, repeat. Combat is real-time and element-based. You build a party of 4 characters, each with their own elemental abilities, weapons, and roles. Combining elements, like Hydro and Electro for Electro-charged, adds strategic depth. Then there's the gacha system. Using Primogems, you roll wishes for characters and weapons. It's RNG heavy, and yes, whales spend big. But there's also pity mechanics, free event rewards, and ways to earn Primogems just by playing. The game's daily system includes resin-limited bosses, artifact farming, and weekly challenges. This live service style was divisive, but it kept players logging in. And over time, Genshin expanded, adding Spiral Abyss endgame, limited-time mini-games, rhythm events, tower defense, even Mario Party-style board games. What started as Zelda with gacha grew into its own genre-blending beast. Let's talk about characters, because they're the heart of Genshin. Every region introduced new heroes with fully animated specials, deep backstories, and unique playstyles. From fan favorites like Zhongli, Hu Tao, and Raiden Shogun, to meme kings like Bennett and Xingqiu, there's a character for everyone. The voice acting, both Japanese and English, is top tier. And the fan art, next level. Cosplay, original music, webcomics. Genshin Impact's fandom turned it from a game into a global cultural force. It also helped that miHoYo leaned hard into marketing. From anime-style trailers to full orchestral concerts, they knew how to keep hype alive. Genshin's 5-star character trailers became appointment viewing, some racking up tens of millions of views in days. The community wasn't just engaged, they were obsessed. Of course, not everything was perfect. Genshin has faced its share of criticism over the past 5 years. Early complaints focused on the resin system, which limited progression. Endgame content has also been a sore point. Spiral Abyss is still the only true endgame, and many veteran players crave more challenging content. Then there's the gacha economy. While miHoYo is generous by industry standards, Players have called out the lack of transparency, expensive packs, and power creep over time. And some anniversary events, especially the first one, were met with backlash for lackluster rewards compared to the game's massive revenue. Localization issues, censorship, and character skin controversies also caused uproar, especially in Western regions. MiHoYo has slowly improved, but not without pressure from fans. Yet, despite all that, Genshin's popularity never really dipped. It weathered the storms and kept growing. Over the years, Genshin Impact has dipped its toes into crossovers, though very selectively. The biggest crossover so far? Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. She was added as a 5-star freebie for PS4 players in 2021, but let's be honest, she never really caught on in the meta. More successful were internal tie-ins, like characters from MiHoYo's other games, Honkai Impact and Honkai Star Rail, making subtle appearances. Outside of gaming, Genshin has had collaborations with food chains, fashion brands, art exhibitions, and even public events like full symphony concerts. There's also an anime in development announced in partnership with unforgettable, the studio behind Demon Slayer. That's a massive move for expanding Genshin's universe beyond the game itself. We're talking about a multimedia empire here, not just a game. So where does Genshin Impact stand today? As of 2025, it's still one of the most played and highest grossing games in the world. It pioneered a new model of gacha, MRPG hybrid. It brought global attention to Chinese game development, and it proved that free-to-play games could look, sound, and feel like premium experiences. New regions are still coming, like Natlan and Snezhnaya, and the Teyvat chapter storyline is expected to conclude in the next few years. But MiHoYo has also laid groundwork for post-Teyvat content. Rumors point to new realms, time travel plots, and even a new engine update. Genshin isn't slowing down. If anything, it's evolving, and with projects like Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail also thriving, it's clear MiHoYo, now called HoYoverse, is building a connected multiverse. So why does Genshin Impact still matter 5 years later? Because it changed the conversation. It proved that free-to-play doesn't have to mean low effort. It created a game that people live in, not just play. A game with lore, culture, and characters that means something to millions of people. For many, Genshin is more than a game. It's comfort, it's connection, it's community. Yes, it has flaws. Yes, it has room to grow. But what other game has pulled off this scale of storytelling, exploration, and global success, all while being technically free? As it heads into its 6th year, Genshin Impact isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Thanks for watching, and happy 5th anniversary to Genshin Impact. Whether you've been here since Mondstadt or just pulled your first 5-star yesterday, there's something magical about this game that keeps pulling us back in. Let me know in the comments, what was your first 5-star, what's your favorite region, and where do you think the story's headed next? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more retrospectives like this one.